audio muted. Anyways, Mr. Singular Phoenix, Mr. Not one. Oh well, actually he is one, two, three, four, five. He's a single Phoenix. So, single. What we need here is I need a very clear and concise interview. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Why did you begin debating?
I was bored.
Would you say that over time the community has increased in skill massively?
Yes, I think the main reason for that is I think everyone's like knowledge, like on average, has raised over like a certain amount of time.
Would you say that, for example, debaters like Aeroflame, they have been overhyped and overvalued by the fiction community?
Yeah.
Why do you say so?
Like I've seen some of their debates, and like I don't think like some of their debates in comparison to like people today are like really on par.
That makes sense. Would you
Also, I keep
say
fucking voice cracking.
that you would be able to beat most of these old gen debaters? Would you say most new gen debaters would be able to beat the old gen ones?
Yeah, I think so. Like specifically Arrow, yeah, like I think Arrow would get his face beat in by like most new gens. Noodles, I think so. There's like a few outliers like Trini and Six, I think, are like some like decent people that were from the old gen.
What do you think makes them different than the average old gen debater that makes them still good to this day?
Well, for Trini, I think it's mainly his knowledge. I think he's like very well versed in like logic and stuff like that. And I just think that's something like a lot of the old gen lacks.
What about Demi, Ethan? Would you say Demi has also been beyond his time?
No, Demi. I think Demi can still like hang in there a little bit.
Why do you think Demi is able to, even regardless of the fact that he wasn't very prevalent in the old days? Or well, he was.
Yeah, it'd be mainly because of his knowledge. Like I think like anyone who does like some sort of like IRL topic is gonna like be like on average like more well versed in logic than like any fictional debater would. It's not really something that like fiction debaters have like looked at in the old gen. Like it's only as of like this year and like maybe like last year that like people have like really like started to like buckle down and like lock into like the logic aspect of it and like really try to incorporate it into fiction. And I think that's mainly because like a lot of the philo people have been coming to this a little bit.
Do you think philosophy people coming into this community has made them worse debaters?
Well, when we say debater, I mainly like look at the qualities such as like knowledge and like argumentation and like rhetoric.
Yeah.
I think on average that has gone up, but I think the quality of debates has gone down because I feel people try to employ these things in debates where it's very unnecessary and it makes the debate really like incoherent and like inconcise. I think it can be like a little bit dishonest sometimes.
Would you say that if the average new gen debater went back in time into the old gen community, they would still be prevalent?
If an average new gen debater went, okay, well, let's take like Manny for example. Like I think if like Manny went back in times like the old gen, like I think he'd be pretty prevalent. Yeah.
If you were to rank him on a scale of 1 to 10 in the old gen community as a standard, where would you rank him?
Well, with like Trini as a 10,
yeah,
I would probably put him at like 7 or 8.
Ooh, 7 or
like, dude, I don't think the old gen people were that good like at all.
Who would you say would be above him? Aside from 6, of course.
Well, Trini, obviously.
Yeah.
6. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you consider Gias old gen? Like, maybe Gias would probably be above him.
Do you think Gias has remained as skilled over time?
Definitely not.
What do you think would be constitutive of him reducing in skill?
My main leading theory is like D1's rubbing off on him a little bit. But that's just me. Other than that, I have no idea.
Why do you think that regardless of D1 debating for an extremely long period of time, he still does not remain, or he's not very skilled?
I think, yeah, To be honest, I couldn't answer that question other than the fact that like from when I witnessed him debating, he just has very like poor argumentation skills. Um, and like how that occurs, I have no idea. Like he's like literally just hard stuck. It's like
Hmm.
hard stuck low elo.
Do you think that, regard that in terms of debating, he is very untalented?
D1, yeah.
Okay. What do you think would be indicative of talent within a debater?
Um, mainly the I think versatility. I think versatility and adaptability is probably the most prominent things when it comes to talent in terms of debating. Knowledge is something that's usually learned over time, and I feel like rhetoric and argumentation is also like kind of learned over time. But if you have like, well, I mean, argumentation does kind of come from adaptability. So when I mean adaptability, what I mean by that is the ability to arguments on the spot with with lack of knowledge. The arguments, of course, have to be coherent.
Yeah.
I think that's like the main thing that like indicate like talent in a debater.
Who would you say are some of the most talented people within recent day? Alright, what do you think are the most talented in the new gen?
Talented in the new gen. I got to be honest. I don't think anyone in the new gen is really that good. I have pretty high standards when I think talent. I think like Alex. I think Synth. I think people like that. That's what I think of when I think talent. As for like main like fiction representing people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there hasn't really been any new people to the point where like I would value someone above someone else for their adaptability. I think they all have like some sort of like already established knowledge because they've been here so long. I guess like an example you could point out like Infinity when he was first starting out and like he was like on like going and debating all those people. He had like pretty decent adaptability.
Huh.
Um, I don't like at the time like I don't think he was like as knowledgeable as he is like he would be now. Like no Glaze or anything like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I don't really value knowledge all too much. And when I look at the debater and I say if they're good or not.
Do you think that situations like Infinity or people like Infinity, do you think they lack talent or they are equally as talented as other people? And to add on to that, in the Arrow games, Arrow debated lots of people in a whole bunch of topics. Do you think he also lacks the versatility requirements that you value?
Um, yeah, so I think there's gonna be like a set standard for like how people like what people debate. So like when take Arrow for example, when he goes and debates like a plumber, and what I mean by plumber, I just mean like some random person that like probably doesn't like ever debate.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that's like showcasing like a certain level of versatility that I would uh value. I think at that point like most of the time these like plumbers are just gonna say something he's already heard in the past
Yeah.
or something like that. Like there's not going to be someone that like actually stun locks him into the point where he's like, okay, I can't read off this script anymore. I actually have to come up with something new to respond to that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Infinity do that before. Um, so that would be something I value. But
So
as for Arrow, no, I don't.
do you
I don't.
think
I think he
that
lacks that.
in terms of what's it called of recency, Infinity usually relies on dishonesty to be able to counter his opponent's arguments, or do you think that he's countering it out of sheer skill?
Um, I don't really be watching like Rex and stuff that much. So I can only account for like what I see when I'm in the VCs. Whenever I do see Infinity debate, I don't I don't think he's being dishonest. Um, but then again, like I would never be able to like tell, right? You usually when it's kind of harder to tell if someone's being dishonest for me at least on IRL than it would be fiction.
Yeah.
Because people like genuinely hold to these like certain takes IRL, like you would expect them not to hold to, and like, unless they like say something like absolutely ridiculous, like some like Reductio or something.
Okay. Would you say that you have a solid ranking on the top five recent new gen debaters?
Top 5 recent new gen debaters.
Yes.
I don't think I would. I mean, it really depends, like, who we think new gen, like, new gen people are. Like, do you consider someone like Tensei new gen? Because, like, I don't know if I would, or, like, I don't know if you consider someone like...
Tensei, not, let's say Tensei is not a new gen. Because usually I have not actually heard a lot of Tensei debates to say that Tensei is as good as most people think he is. However, people do think he's good. So, do you have any opinions on it?
Oh, on Tensei, yeah. I mean, I've had, like, personal conversations with him. Like, he doesn't really... he's kind of like me in the sense, like, he doesn't really debate that much. He'd rather just likes to have, like, conversations with people. And, like, the quality of our conversations, when we do have them, have been, like, pretty decent. I think he's pretty decent from, like, when I talk to him, yeah.
Okay. If you were to rank yourself in comparison to every old gen debater, what tier would you say you were?
Like tier 1, like easily.
Okay. Who do you think would be the top 5 most overrated debaters then?
Overrated? Oh, jeez. Let's see. Oh, dude, see, if I say my genuine thoughts, I feel like I'm gonna wake up the next day with like 20 DMs.
It is fine.
So I'm not sure if I like really want to answer that question.
You can leave out the more controversial people and just go over the,
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably just leave out like the controversial people.
Yeah.
I think, dude, I'm gonna get so much hate. I think this is no flame, by the way, to like the person, but I think Gizbob is a little bit overrated. I think Bridge is a little bit overrated. Who else do I think is overrated? I think Focus, when he was actually debating, was a little bit overrated.
Yeah. When it wasn't lol,
Yeah.
Focus.
I mean, those are the only. I mean, I have like more, but like, I don't really want to say them.
I'm assuming Infinity's one of them. Oh, I dropped my phone. Lol.
What did you say?
You'd say someone like Infinity is or is not one of them?
No, Infinity's not.
Okay.
One of
Would
them.
you say Tensor is one of them?
No.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay. Fair enough. So, for my final question, in terms of debating, who would you want to debate in future, and what do you want to achieve?
Wanting to achieve, I don't know if I necessarily want to achieve anything. Like I said, like I kind of just debate most of the time because I'm bored, and like I feel like because a lot of free time I have because my job allows me to have like a bunch of free time, it's better like put that free time like studying something. And I guess this is just like the thing I choose to study because like I don't even really do fiction anymore. I've just been doing mainly IRL. But I guess some people I would like to debate. Destiny is one of them. Synth might be one of them. Maybe in the future. If I was a theist, I would probably debate Alex, but I'm not a theist, and that probably would never happen. But I don't know. I would say I mostly like want to debate Destiny right now.
Okay. If you were to debate him, would you lose?
Nah, I'd win.
That's it for the interview. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. This has been Shinra and my son Single Phoenix, and I'm out.
I'm not